Good morning. My name is Will Sisler. I'm with Hitec, and I'm giving a two-day training course for operation of the new Hitec system that we just put into place here recently. I am the engineering manager for Hitec North America. I was also functioning as the project engineer for this project for Hitec all the way through the installation and commissioning, which we finished mid last week. So I'm here basically to give what we call more of an initiation of training for the Hitec system, plus the operator training for you guys who are basically going to be watching the system, operating it. So we're going to spend a couple days going through what a Hitec is, how it does what it does, how it's unique to this particular site, because all Hitecs are different as far as the system that they encompass for our customers. No two Hitec systems are really the same. So there are a lot of unique parts to it, which we'll cover as well. But today is mainly involving just learning about what the Hitec is, how it works in general and what it does. And then later on today, we'll actually get into the operating instructions for your unique Hitec system here, continuing that on into tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow also getting some practical demonstrations done of the system to actually see it operate. Right now it is shut down. Everything is shut down. Everything is powered off because McKinstry had to take their inspectors through and get final clearances and listings on the equipment. So that's actually a good thing, because if it was running, it'd be a lot noisier in here right now, and we'd have to compete with that noise. So it's actually a good thing that we can be here today with the unit not running. It's a lot quieter, and then later on we'll also go down and take a walk around, and we'll be able to hear one another today as well, because when it is running you won't be able to hear the person next to you. As far as the agenda, the time shown on the agenda, really don't worry about that. I know that you guys have breaks in regular time periods, so the only thing to take away from the agenda is just the order of the topics that we'll be discussing. Okay, so this is the order, and we'll take breaks as needed. Usually I'll take about a 10-minute break per hour, or we'll take the breaks when your regular breaks come, and then lunch, whenever that lunch break is, we'll take that. But we'll finish around 2 o'clock today, but that's the order of the topics. Okay, so don't worry about the times. If at any point you can't hear me, or I need to speak louder, just let me know. Again, if the break time comes and I'm not aware of it, just raise your hand and say it's break time, and then we'll take a break. This is also an open discussion, between myself and you, the operators. So if you have questions, feel free to ask at any time. We can certainly take the time to, discuss certain questions you might have on the topics as we go through them. And if we're going to come to a topic eventually that will answer your question, then I might say, well, we'll hold off and I'll answer that when the time comes. But don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask a question. Okay?
So, well, just for your info, our official break time is
9:30.
12:30. But if you're going to follow your schedule 10 minutes every hour,
Mm-hmm.
the 9:30 break doesn't apply to you. The rule is you can't be working more than 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So if you do a 10-minute break every hour, I think that's more than adequate. But the lunch is 12 minutes.
Okay. All right. It's good to know. We are being filmed, so I'm going to try and stay within my boundaries here, and I am being mic'd as well, so operators who can't be here can always refer back to the video, as well as you as well can refer back to it. And then we have a sheet going around where you can put your name and your email, and then at the end of the training I will email you all these course materials as well, just for your reference. So let's get started then with the first batch of slides here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Hitec here first. So Hitec is a Dutch company actually were owned by the Japanese, to be honest. But our factory, our assembly and testing facility is in Almelo, the Netherlands, and that's where your big your three-piece module came from. So if you haven't seen it already, it's the diesel engine, the alternator, and then the flywheel on the end. That all comes from Almelo. The controls come from Almelo as well. Everything that complements that system, all the auxiliaries, fuel tanks, radiators, medium voltage switchgear, low voltage switchgear, that is manufactured here in the US. So that's all gets shipped to the site and put together and becomes one system. Hitec itself, though, has been around for quite a while, founded in the late 1800s. Right around the 1950s or so, Hitec invented the rotary DRUPS system. Okay, so DRUPS meaning diesel rotary uninterruptible power system. Basically, it's a mechanical version of a UPS system that maybe you're more familiar with as being something that has, you know, a room full of batteries and rectifiers, right? The DRUPS system involves a diesel-driven rotary system with a flywheel for mechanical storage of energy versus chemical storage with batteries, okay? But that concept came around in about the 1950s, developed by Hitec. It's been around ever since. It's a lot more, you'll find a lot more of these systems in Europe where space is at a premium. There's not a lot of space for, you know, large battery rooms and battery systems, battery UPS systems. So it really became something that was quite advantageous in Europe. Really didn't make its way into our area of the world in North America, and probably until maybe the late 70s, early 80s, and then sparingly as more and more engineers became familiar with the concept. Still very dominated by static systems here in the US, batteries and such, but we're starting to see more and more of the rotary systems because more and more power is needed and less space is available for, you know, battery systems. All right. All right, so where are we? Pretty much all over the world. Again, very prevalent in Europe, also in Asia as well. With the orange dots, you can see some of our main offices, including the main factory in Holland. Our North American office is in Houston. That's where my office is. That covers all of the basically Western Hemisphere. And then we have a lot of service offices as well. So the orange dots in Virginia, California, those are service offices for our service presence, as well as other service offices around the world. And then we have a distributor base as well, what we call partners or salesmen throughout the world as well. All right, our technology, that is our PowerPro 2700 machine. That is basically the same unit you have, except you don't have the covers. These covers that you see here are just basically what we can sell for in-building systems, just to make it look a little nicer, and it provides a little bit of sound attenuation and helps kind of direct some of the flow of the air across the machine. The reason why your unit does not have these covers is because you have a medium voltage generator. Okay, these covers are only applicable for a machine with a low voltage alternator, and you have medium voltage, so we don't have covers for our medium voltage machine. But if you took these covers off, that would be your machine. It's called our PowerPro 2700. And again, the way that we store power and provide UPS backup is through a dynamic process. Okay, so it's mechanical in nature. It's a moving, spinning flywheel, which we will get into in the next batch of slides. Not static, mechanical only. Now the PowerPro 2700 is actually what we call our maybe fourth generation machine. So we've had a lot of different types, versions of our system, starting in the 50s all the way through today, in different ways that we basically engineered the unit. This is basically our fourth iteration. Again, Hitec was the inventor of the dynamic UPS system. We have some competitors nowadays that basically used our ideas to develop their own systems. You may have heard of some of them, like Pillar or Eurodiesel. Caterpillar came out with their own version of a dynamic rotary system, but it all started with Hitec around 60 years ago or so. All right. We serve a lot of markets. Basically, any market or any customer that needs continuous power. That can be manufacturing, semiconductor. Data center is probably our biggest customer here in the U.S. For data centers. Finance, there's also government, you name it, just hospitals, pharmaceuticals. Anyone that needs continuous power is who we will serve. Oil and gas, telecommunications, infrastructure. We've got customers in all of these areas. Okay, and support. As I mentioned on the map, we have a lot of service offices around the world. We support what we sell. We do establish service contracts with our customers. I'm not certain if that has been developed yet for your site here, but if not, it's something that we will reach out to you for if you want to develop a service contract with us to come and actually maintenance the units. We'll actually go into servicing later. I think that's tomorrow is a presentation of our service in the maintenance required of the units. But again, we do have local servicemen here in the Seattle area. We've got 2 of them that serve this area. So we're always here on a moment's notice if they're needed for any reason. So we provide a complete solution from initial order through installation, commissioning, and service on into overhauls. Our systems basically are going to last anywhere from 25 to 30 years on average. We have some sites, I think, on the East Coast that are exceeding 30, 35 years. So it's a very viable product that lasts a long time. And just some of our clients throughout the world. Okay, and that's the introduction of Hitec power protection. Okay, any questions before we move on? Discuss more technical matters, how the system actually works.
How many units are in Pacific Northwest?
How many units are in the North America?
Pacific Northwest? Our corner.
Let's see. Well, in addition to yours that we have here, we've got 6 units in Redmond, and we've got 13 units in Quincy, just east of the range. Yeah. We used to have another site of 6 units here in Seattle as well. That site was decommissioned a number of years ago. Okay.